3 weeks ago, I took a big risk. I planted out my peppers way earlier than I ever have done before. Today, we're going to see if that gamble paid off. Welcome back, everyone. Today is Thursday the 24th of April, and I wanted to show you how my peppers have been going on since I planted them out in the greenhouse 3 weeks ago. Now, if you've seen my previous video, it was the end of March, and I was looking over the 10-day to 14-day forecast, and it was just forecasted sunny weather. Obviously cooler evenings, but much hotter, sunnier days. And boy, did we get that. It has been beautiful over the last month. Really nice spring. Very dry. We could really do with the rain. My water butts could do with filling up, but can't complain. It's been really lovely. So the peppers, yes, as I said, I planted them out in the greenhouse, not outside, but in the greenhouse, way earlier than I ever have done before. And I would say it's been a great success. Not completely, but on the pepper front, absolutely. So I'm going to show you around the greenhouse and you can see exactly what's been growing on. So to start things off, I've got a module tray of marigolds here, which are growing on really nicely. They're obviously started off in a much smaller seedling tray, the container-wise Charles Dowding 15 tray. And I've potted them onto the container-wise 15L tray, obviously much larger soil capacity, and they're growing on really nicely. So as we come down the seed shelf, I've got a beautiful row of spring onions there, some parsley, some coriander, and some spare peppers, basil, all in these modules just here. Now, one set of plants which I definitely started too early is some melons. So they've been growing okay. They haven't looked yellow or unhealthy or anything like that. They've just been growing really slowly, especially in comparison to the courgettes and the squash, which you'll see in a minute. They're a totally different game. Some more marigolds, and I've got my experimental little gem lettuce going on here in the container-wise 15L deep trays. I have a video out already, which you've seen me potting these on, but that's my experimental tray of lettuce. So what I'm really trying to do here is, because these are a really deep tray, I'm actually interested to see if I can grow the smaller variety of little gem in this tray. So I don't grow for heads of lettuce, I only grow for leaf picking. So should be ideal. And if I can grow them well in there and they're happy and they've got plenty of space and plenty of nutrients, then that's how I'll be growing those moving forward. So that's the seedling shelf. My radish gutter has been doing super well. Got a bit of a jungle going on up here. And now the courgettes and the squash. So as I said, totally different beast in comparison to the melons, growing much faster and also much larger. Now the peppers. So peppers are in the chili grow planters, which you can see I've got on both sides of the greenhouse. And this is a variety here called the Amy Sweet Wax, and growing really nicely, really well. You can see there's some great basal branching going on the internodes there. So I'm really happy about that, and a really good size. The next variety here is the Sweet Ahi Dolce. Slightly smaller. I believe this variety and the next variety here, which is the Trinidad Perfume, are both slightly different phenotypes. So I think that they actually prefer much warmer climates, and once the summer heat kicks in, these will really rocket away. There was a time where I thought that there was something wrong with the Trinidad Perfume seeds because they were just really yellow, very unhappy looking. And I mean, you can kind of see a little bit now still. They still do look a little yellow, but to be honest, I think it's just the cooler evening temperatures that's keeping them that sort of color, as they have grown a lot in the last 3 weeks. Over here, some more along, again, growing really well, happy in the chili grow planters and in the greenhouse. We have sweet spirals, which is probably the largest plants that I've got so far. Just catching it. And golden cow wonder for a sweet bell pepper across the bottom over here. So these have been the success stories with the peppers. Now to show you a bit of a disaster. Fortunately not with peppers, but I have some house dwarf tomatoes planted across the back, which you may have seen already. Now, to be honest with you, I actually ordered some more dwarf seeds of tomatoes last week because a lot more of the tomatoes were looking like this. Very small, very unhappy, and very discoloured. Now, I was aware that this could totally be down to the fact that the evening temperatures were still quite cool. I was also extremely surprised that the tomatoes were the ones that were responding in this way. I fully expected the peppers to respond in this way, so remain small, remain discoloured, and very unhappy about the cooler weather in the evenings. But to my surprise, the peppers have really grown well, and the tomatoes have been the ones that have been upset. I would have thought it had been the other way around. But anyway, so as I said, I ordered some extra packs of dwarf tomato seeds last week, got them sown. They've all germinated really quickly because I've got them in my indoor germinating station. And within the last week, they have all really grown on really well. So we can actually see the first flowers coming in now too, which is fantastic. I'm really pleased about that. So this variety of tomato that I have here, as I said, is called the house tomato, which is a dwarf variety. I believe I got them from Real Seeds, which is a seed company in the UK that I really, really like. They obviously grow all of their own stuff there, so it's acclimatized to the UK climate. They've been bred obviously as a early variety, but are very quick growing. So that's one of the reasons why I was quite surprised that they were very unhappy in the beginning in the cooler temperatures. But obviously as things have started to mellow out and the temperatures raised, they've started to really grow on a bit. So I'm really hoping for some early harvests of tomatoes. And obviously as I've got the second batch of tomato seedlings sown as well, I'm also really hoping for a later second sowing of tomatoes too. One other thing that I'm noticing whilst I'm in the greenhouse is the smaller seedlings that I have growing on as spares on the seedlings shelf that I showed you earlier, but I'll just show you again now. So these seedlings have been in these smaller module trays for, I would say, about the last 3 weeks, at least 3 to 4 weeks, and they've been outdoors this entire time, and they are growing really happily and healthily. Obviously, peppers are a warmth-loving crop, but it's been a good few years since I last properly grew peppers, and I'd completely forgotten a lot of the basics in terms of what they like from a light perspective and a heat perspective. The seed stowing station I've got indoors, I've obviously been reworking and getting that to operate as efficiently as possible. And to be honest with you, it's really reminded me of how much I love to grow peppers. I got into gardening through growing peppers, and this has really reminded me of those roots effectively. And it's been a super interesting journey getting back into growing peppers after at least 3 years of not properly growing them. And they're just such a great crop to grow. They are a lot of fun. You get great bounty at the end with the fruits, whether you like heat or you prefer heatless varieties, sweet varieties. I think what it highlights for me is the fact that gardening is always a learning process. You're constantly trying new things, going back to old things, seeing what works for you. And what it has really highlighted to me is to try as many things as you can. Once you find something that works for you, obviously stick to that as your foundation. But fundamentally, the more you can try new things, the broader your mind gets with regards to gardening. And I mean, that outlook goes for everyday life as well, but it's just been such a great experience getting back into doing these things again and relearning and learning new concepts and techniques. And I'm really excited and looking forward to showing you all of these things in future videos to come. So thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, comment, and share this video to someone that you think would enjoy this content. And I look forward to seeing you again very soon. While you're thinking about doing that, check out this playlist here for lots more gardening tips. I'll see you again soon.